Hey everyone, welcome to Telling Tall Tales the Right Way. I am your host, Heather Asianbi. I've been a journalist for what feels like 100 years roughly, but I am also a certified master storyteller. See, there's my certificate. And I just really love a good story. I like to listen to great stories. Hopefully I tell good stories, but I'll let my next guest tell you if that is true or not. And I like to read and watch great stories, right? So for this episode, and I already know it's going to turn into a two-parter because we'll just keep talking. But my very good friend, Kathleen Harper, is joining me today. And the reason why I asked her to be part of this is because she also loves a really good story. And I didn't know that she had just finished watching the show that we're going to talk about until I was like, oh my God, I just finished watching the show. And she was like, we finished it last week. And then we couldn't stop shutting up about it. And then we kept texting about it even after like our phone conversation was over. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the amazing Kathleen Harper.
Oh, amazing.
So thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm loving it.
Okay. So what are we talking about? We are talking about, I got to bring it. Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
Okay, so this was a movie. So this show is based on a series of books by Anne Rice, and she is very famous for writing these kind of dark Gothic stories that originate out of New Orleans, which is where she's from. And I know that because when I was in New Orleans, I went to her house.
Oh,
I mean, you can't go in.
Did not know.
Like, be outside of it, right? It looks just like a very genteel Southern house. It doesn't look like anything creepy or anything weird.
Oh, yeah. No, I would expect it to be like webs in the trees or something.
I mean, anyway, no, that's, but anyway, Interview with a Vampire for people who might be like, wait, that's a show? I thought it was a movie. It was a movie from 1994 starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And I'm sorry, but it was terrible. It was terrible.
It wasn't memorable.
I mean, we can say that. Okay, not memorable. So what we're going to talk about today is the series that is airing on AMC. And the first two seasons have already aired, and the third season is upcoming. Now, I purposely, which it was really hard for me not to do it, I didn't go looking up, like, what is season 3 going to look like? Like, I did not give it a goog.
Gasp. No, gasp.
I wanted to give it a goog. I'm a spoiler slut, so I don't really care. Like, I'm going to read it. I'm fine. But I just was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Anyway.
I know.
Okay, so Interview with a Vampire. Stars. I didn't even bother to look up their real names. Isn't that terrible?
Oh gosh, Jacob's.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Louis' name is Jacob. I know that.
Okay. Anyway, today we're going to focus. Well, we're going to focus on season 1, which primarily stars these two gentlemen. So the one with the blonde hair plays Lestat de Liancourt, who is a French man who comes to New Orleans. And then we have Louis de Pontelac, who is a Creole man living in New Orleans, and it opens in 1910. Well, that's not altogether true. It actually opens with this gentleman. Oh, you can't see my cursor when I do this, but this gentleman with the gray hair, his name is Daniel Malloy, and he is a reporter. And what we come to find out is that Daniel and Louis met and had
they go back
to 1973 when Daniel met Louis at a bar, and they spent an entire night together talking, and Daniel was interviewing him, hence Interview with a Vampire. Louis sends him the tapes and is like, I live in Dubai now. I think it's time we start revisiting this.
And present day too.
Correct. It's 2024 when this takes place. Now, you might be wondering, as I did, how, pray tell, does a vampire live in Dubai?
Right.
It's freaking hot and sunny all the time. Vampires burn in the sun.
Exactly.
That becomes apparent through some technology he's got with windows and stuff. It is really neither here nor there, right? But I did laugh. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Right?
Right.
Okay.
And then they have that
But
weird
you
fake
can
sun.
get,
That
like,
was interesting.
the effect of daylight, right? Like, so
Right.
he has he reset her circadian rhythm so that he sleeps at night and is awake during the day, or no?
No, I don't think so. I think it's honestly
Yeah, you're right.
all through that weird wannabe light thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Curtains.
Yeah. All right. You're right. Okay. So, as we know, the elements of every great story include well-defined characters who have realistic, according to the world that we are in, a realistic growth arc. We have a world that is super well drawn and in which the characters all operate under the rules of the world, whatever that world is, right?
Right.
And then we have conflict and resolution. Now, as with any multi-character story, there's going to be excuse me, an overarching conflict and resolution, and then we have little ones.
Right.
In your opinion, what do you think the overarching conflict and resolution is for season 1?
For season 1?
Yeah.
I mean, it's based on the relationship between Lestat and Louis,
Mm-hmm.
and just Louis coming to terms with being a vampire, and you stay the age that you were turned, and he wants a family. He's head over heels in love with Lestat. He wants a family, and Lestat is actually against turning Claudia, but he does so that Louis can have the family. Well, Louis has to say goodbye to his family.
Yeah, so that's a big conflict, right? Like, Louis wants to have the best of both worlds. Indeed. He wants to be a successful businessman, albeit this is 1910 in New Orleans, Louisiana, United States of America. So that is, okay, so what I really liked about the fact that, and I didn't read the books, and I didn't look it up,
nor did
I don't know if Louis' character in the books is a black presenting man. Like, I don't know. Is he Creole? Is he?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Right. In the movie, he was Caucasian. Yeah. True.
So what I thought was interesting is to add that extra element of racial and ethnic identity. So Louis really when the show opens, Louis making a living doing all kinds of nefarious things. He's not killing people, but he a couple of brothels.
He's hustling a little bit.
Yeah, right. He's hustling a lot. He owns brothels and bars in the black part of town,
right,
where white people don't go. Although he does hire like white bouncers and white muscle to kind of like keep the peace.
Exactly.
But then when he gets turned, he meets Lestat. And he resists him for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
who can resist Lestat? He's
right. So then he gets turned. And Louis thinks he can have the best of both worlds. He uses, so Lestat has money. He has money because he's like 150 years old at this time.
Sure. Yeah.
And Louis thinks he can have the best of all worlds, actually, not just both, but all worlds. He can be a successful businessman running a legitimate business in large part because he has a white male partner.
Yes.
Who can, be the liaison between Louis and like the governing structure of the city.
Yeah. And he has I wouldn't call it respect of the white man, but as long as he makes the white man money, they'll let him kind of
sort of
perimeter of their circles.
I mean, sort of. That comes later. Anyway, but then, and so he wants to be this successful businessman. He's running this legitimate club now, and instead of it being whites only, he's letting whoever wants to come in. Right. Well, within reason, right? But then he also wants to still be a part of his human family.
Right.
Now,
that was a big thing.
So a big thing happens, though. Big thing happens. At his sister's wedding, he and his brother Paul are very close. Now, Paul has, I want to say, probably autism.
Yeah, he seems to be on the spectrum for sure.
Yeah, because he focuses on like facts. He doesn't have really good interpersonal skills. He's
Right.
you get the sense that something is a little he doesn't interact with his family or the public as well. And then he latched on to religion, so he's like constantly spouting scripture at Louis and all this. At their sister's wedding, this is right before Louis is turned.
Mm-hmm.
His brother jumps off the roof of their house and kills himself.
So awful.
Now,
so awful.
It's not given. So, first of all, we just need to. I probably should have said this at the beginning. This is not a spoiler-free show. No, this is going to give it all away all the time. So I'm just letting you know, like we're giving it all away. Now, I suspected that Lestat killed Paul. Lestat is not present. Louis and Paul are sitting on the roof of their house like they have done countless times since they were boys. Right? Countless times. But Louis, they're talking, and it's a good conversation, and they're relating like brothers.
Joy, there's whatever. It's his wedding day, for goodness sakes.
Right. It's his sister. Their sister's wedding day. And Paul says, "I love you, Louis," and Louis is like, "Yeah, I love you too, Paul." And the next thing you know, Paul takes a swan dive off the roof, and I was like,
I felt like. Now, did you feel like you knew it was going to happen though?
No.
Or were you totally shocked? Oh, okay.
No, and there wasn't. So this is where I think, and I don't know, again, I don't know how it happened in the books.
Right.
But it did feel like they needed a kick to turn Louis more fully toward Lestat, which is why I thought from the beginning that Lestat killed him in
he had to move him out of the way, so to speak.
Kind of way that they do, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But Lestat denies it and continues to deny it throughout both seasons of the show.
Yep.
He's like, no, I did not kill him. I promise I didn't kill him.
Right.
Now, does that mean that Lestat always tells the truth?
Thinking not.
He's quite the liar. He's a lying liar who lies, and he does it really well.
Yes, exactly. Why are we surprised when a liar lies?
Right. What did you think about using New Orleans as the background?
I loved it.
Did you? Why?
I did, because it's just so bustling, and yet it still just has that kind of architecture and that history that lends itself to, I believe vampires would choose to be there. I believe that that's where they would go. And yet there's just so much going on. They can weave their way in and out of humans, mortals, whatever, how they're referred to.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. Yeah.
Sure. I also thought it was an interesting time period to place it in 1910, because it does bring about some modernity, right? Like there are a few cars on the road, but they're still mostly horse-drawn carriages. Mm-hmm. They have some electric lights, but it's not like widespread. The telephone is not a part of it.
Nope. It's that turn of the century feel,
Yeah, and it did give you the way it was shot. Also, it's not very bright, even during daytime scenes. It's not bright.
No.
But it does give you
all the time either.
Like, wait, say that again.
But it's not creepy all the time either. Not all the time.
Yeah, it's not creepy. It doesn't. It's creepy because it's a vampire, but it doesn't feel creepy when you're watching it.
Right.
Okay, so Lestat and Louis, almost from the very beginning, have this very love-hate relationship. Lestat loves Louis. He loves him. Mm-hmm. But he also hates the fact that Louis doesn't quite... Oh, that goes back to the fact that Louis thinks... So when I say he wants to be the best of all worlds, he wants to be a vampire and all the things... They call it the dark gift in the show. So having this dark gift.
Mm-hmm.
He wants all the super strength, super speed, blah, 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 blahs that happen when you are a vampire. But at the same time, he wants to hold on to his human family. But the thing is he hasn't conquered the need to feed. Right. So there's this really important scene where so his sister gets pregnant with twins.
Right.
but he doesn't really interact with the twins very much. We get the feeling that he sees them every so often. They just don't
Right.
show.
Right.
But then his sister's like, "Oh, I just had a new baby."
And that made me nervous right away.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I have to go to the other room," and she gives the baby to Lestat, or not to Lestat, to Louis, and Louis like, "Oh my God, this baby smells so good. I want to eat him."
Right, and tasty little snack.
Yeah, a little snacky snack, right?
Nice.
And he even like, you can see him fighting, right? He's doing this, trying to keep the fangs inside, right? And so his sister is in another room. She hears the baby start screaming, and she immediately runs. The baby is on the floor. Louis is out. Like, he's
right.
out. Now, we also need to make sure that, right? So we have to mention, though, too, that their mother, Paul, Louis, and Grace, I believe his sister's name is Grace. Their mother blames Louis for Paul's death. Without any, she's so heartbroken. She's so heartbroken and so like, right, that she's like, well, you're the one who pushed him off, and he's like, I would never do that. Why would you think I would do that? I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And she's also the only one of the family to know when he turns into a vampire.
Yeah.
Which was, I was like, yeah, moms.
Right.
Because like, if Delaney came to your house and she was like standing on the porch, you were like, well, what's going on? And she was like, oh, just whatever. And then she had the weird eyes. You'd be like,
right.
We're vampire friends.
Perhaps I need to go get some garlic. Want a pizza?
Yeah, right. But his mom knows that, and she doesn't say he's a vampire, but she's like, there is darkness.
Yeah.
About you. There is darkness within you. And she is like, if she wasn't already like super like rigid, because of Paul's death, like having Louis turn into a vampire, just now she's like, nah.
Yeah, that's basically the end of that.
Yeah. So the primary conflict in the first season is Louis struggling with his dark gift, like you said. And then there's, so we said Louis operating this club, right? Where black and white can come in. It's basically a brothel. There's
sure
things going on.
Right.
And
literally the women in the window, that type of.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And then so his club it's too successful, is what it is, and the city council conspires, basically to take it away from him. Like, oh, you don't have this permit, you don't have that license, so it's it's all like technicality nonsense that didn't
matter previously.
Right, which didn't matter previously, but the fact is now he's let black people in, and now it's a problem.
Right.
And it doesn't matter like how much money Lestat tries to use to like grease the wheels to let it go. They are determined to take the club from Louis and turn it in and get it back into white ownership. Yeah. And so he, not surprisingly, loses his stuff and attacks the man who is mostly responsible for it. Not only does he drain him of blood, but he chains him to the gates of the cathedral at Jackson Square, which if anybody, I should have got a picture of that. If anybody has not, almost everybody has seen the picture of New Orleans, where it's a beautiful white church, right? That's Jackson Square. I forget what the church is called. It doesn't matter. But chains him to it with a sign around his neck that says whites only. And white New Orleans loses their ever-loving mind and starts burning the black neighborhood.
Right. They just go scorched earth. Boom.
Scorched earth. They're killing, raping, pillaging, and burning. So during all this, while Louis is walking through and he's like, oh my God, what have I done? This is the result of me chaining dude to the gates. Now, can I just be clear? That dude deserved it.
Oh, yes. And more, honestly.
Yeah, I think he got off the feet. Right. Yeah, for sure. But But then Louis hears, "Help me, I don't want to die." Now, we need to
Yeah.
make sure that everybody understands too that vampires can um, hear people's thoughts
Well, yeah.
and they can communicate telepathically.
Right.
Right? Um,
Which was fascinating.
Fascinating. So Louis hears this young girl. He finds her. She is almost dead because she's had incredible smoke inhalation. She's burned from, the fires licking the flames like around her.
Right.
And he begs Lestat to turn her. Now, what is very interesting about the way they shot this, though, we don't hear Lestat mention the laws about being a vampire.
Yeah.
Not during not right away.
Yep. No. Mm-hmm.
Not right away. So you want to take it from this point?
I do not.
So Louis begs Lestat to turn Claudia. We find out Claudia is only like 14.
Yeah, she's a kid.
She's a child, and that is one of the laws, which will come into play later.
Right.
But at this point we don't know, and Louis, the way that it's the screen. It's not a screenplay. Script. Let's call it a script. The way the script is written and the way it's shot is that we don't get all the pieces to Louis and Lestat's conversation and their fight about it, right? Because
right.
like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And Louis like, you have to. It's my fault that she's dying. And he's like, well, humans die all the time. Lestat's like, okay. Right. He's like, no, you have to turn her. He's like, she's a child.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this is where it becomes, I think, very interesting. When a child becomes a vampire, they are forever physically that age.
Right.
But their mind and their spirit gets older.
Ages. Right.
So, like, Louis will always be a 33-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
But his world experience is infinite because, his maturity level, what he learns, his emotional intelligence, all of that continues to grow, which I thought was a really interesting commentary on humanity in general.
Right.
Just because I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding like ridiculous, but because in our human experience, right, we usually experience that type of spiritual, mental, and emotional growth as we get older.
Sure.
Right? So as our bodies age, as they grow, as our mind shifts and changes, right? But with a vampire, you're basically like freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Face frozen, like everything is the way it will always be.
Right. You could put on the clothes of the time period, but you're still
going to look 14, like in Claudia's case, right?
Right.
But she continues to grow and evolve as a personality, despite the vampirism, which is in direct conflict with her outward appearance, which is, why Lestat's like, no, I'm not, no.
Right.
We're not doing it. But
Right.
Louis begs him, he gives in, and Claudia becomes a vampire. So I have a picture of Claudia. Well, there's two Claudias. Okay, so
which flipped me out at first.
It did flip me out. So the one on the right with the crown is the Claudia from season 1.
Yes.
And then they got a new actress to play Claudia. So she's the one with the bows in her hair. She's season 2. I just want to make this plain. Now, during all of this, we're going back and forth with Louis and Daniel's conversations. During Louis and Daniel's conversations, we're also learning more about what happened in 1973 and more about what happened in Louis' life before they met in 1973. Yeah, it's a very complex story.
It is.
It's not easily boiled down.
No. It's not confusing. It's just busy, maybe?
I think busy's good, but I never felt overwhelmed by it.
No.
Like it wasn't that thing where it's just like, oh my God, this is one more thing I have to keep track of, right?
Right. No.
I never felt like that.
I didn't. I agree. I didn't.
What did you like most about Daniel and Louis' conversations in season 1? Because I thought season 2 was like a much thick, richer narrative. I guess.
Season 1, I think there was a lot of things unsaid that
Yeah.
in season 2, they just put all their cards on the table. I mean, well, we'll get to that, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
I think season 1 they were playing the I know that you know that I know game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it was like that, and I mean, and that kind of speaks to the character of Louis in the first place. I mean, when you would see him even in the bars and stuff, and when he first met Lestat, you know, it seemed like he was just kind of that casual observer. But because he came up as kind of a hustler, so to speak, he just kind of had that "I'm going to peep you before you peep me" type of vibe.
Yeah, you say casual observer, but it's casual observer with really sharp vision.
Right. Oh yeah, no, this is like strictly appearance. He appears to be the casual observer.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Anything 100%. But.
Yeah.
So the conversation between him and Daniel, I think, has a little restraint, and I think it has a mutual frustration.
Yeah, because Daniel wants to dig in. Oh, and Daniel, by the way, is pissed. He's
oh
pissed.
yeah, he's
like we know from the get-go that Daniel is pissed off with Louis because Daniel knows there are gaps in his memory from that night that they met in 1973. And Louis like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm remembering all the same things that you are, right?
Right.
But Daniel also has lived a life of like he almost seems like the quintessential hard drinking, hard living reporter that like would have existed maybe in the 70s and not so much in the 2000s, right?
No, right.
Yeah. Right. So just to remind you, this dude is Daniel. That's Daniel with the gray curly hair. And you know, he's even got like a little bit of a gravelly voice, so it sounds like he's been like a smoker, but we never
he smokes a pack a minute.
Yeah, marbles every day.
Even a day.
Right. But he you know, he's very cynical. He's really cynical. He's really skeptical about just about everything.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's just I found that to be super duper interesting. But then what happens too?
Well, because you're a journalist as well.
Yes, that does happen. Because I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to get like that." Yeah. Although I am a little skeptical about things, I still like I'm an optimist, is what I will say.
Well, you are.
But it's interesting because Louis, because you mentioned earlier, Louis wanted a family since he couldn't stay with his human family because he felt he was a danger to them, which he was.
Indeed.
Because he couldn't, like, he was still such a baby vampire. He couldn't like control his strength, control his reactions. Like when I say bloodlust for him was a thing, like that was a thing.
Right. And how do you navigate that?
How do you navigate that when you have Lestat, who, by the way, can we just talk for one very fast second about the actor they chose to play Lestat?
Oh my Lord.
Okay, those cheekbones can cut glass.
Right?
And his jawline's like, I have a jawline.
Yeah. No, he is perfect. And you know,
elegant.
Note to the actor that plays him, if this man does not walk around in turn of the century garb in the real world, I'll be very disappointed. Like if I saw him in, you know, like a Nike t-shirt and some basketball shorts, I'd be like, oh no, you are.
No, I'm sorry, sir. You must change. But okay, so we have to. Okay, we're almost at the end of time for the first. Okay, so we're going to do a second episode. But anyway,
you bet.
All right, so everyone, thank you for joining us for this conversation about Interview with a Vampire. We will be back next week for the second part. Kathleen will be here because I couldn't do this one without her because we were very excited about it. I was texting her, true story, texting her while I'm watching the last 2 episodes, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just making like observations about something that happened or something that a character said. And all she keeps texting back is just wait.
Keep watching. Yeah, keep watching. The best part for me was like, I got to watch it, you know, in the comfort of my home with my husband, both fans.
Yeah.
And then vicariously, I got to watch the last episode with you because every 50 minutes I'm getting, what? And I'm like, keep looking, keep watching.
Yeah.
So wait, what?
Yeah.
It was great. It reminded me of, you know, back in the day on a futon, digging our nails into each other's arms during very big plot twists in our favorite television shows.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Some 30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago. So we're going to take a break. Well, I'm going to end this episode and then we're going to come back. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us. This was the first part of our discussion of Interview with the Vampire, the series that is on AMC, not the funky movie from 1994. Okay, all right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.